What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. We are beginning 12 days of mock drafts, and this was requested in the comment section of yesterday's video. But basically what I'm going to do is, over the next 12 days, we're going to have a mock draft from every single spot. So I'm not going to go in order. I'm not going to do 1 through 12. I'll probably do like beginning, middle, late, then like 1, 5, 12, 2, 6, 11. Kind of go like that, just in case your draft is closer and you want something that's at least close to what you're doing. They're all, I think, going to be half-point PPR leagues. The roster setting right now, this league we have 1 flex. Sometimes we'll do 2 flex, sometimes 1. But you're pretty standard setup. Quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, a flex, a defense, no kicker, and then I believe 6 bench spots in this one. Because you guys want to see how drafts are actually shaking up. We're still doing our normal content, so there's still going to be a video every day, and then I think in like the evening kind of time, I don't really know what time yet, but in the evenings we're going to post the mock draft. So not on the Mondays will just be 1 video, but for the rest of the days it'll be 2 videos, just to kind of give you guys updated takes, because I know we've done a ton of mock drafts, but if you look at a mock draft we did from 2 months ago, it's probably irrelevant. I mean, things have changed so much, even just ADPs, even if the takes on the players haven't changed, ADPs have changed a ton. So it's really nice to see how we're looking in these drafts right now. So one thing we're watching for is Zeke. Zeke goes 5 here. I believe that's where I have him ranked on our rankings right now. And again, once he reports, he moves up to 1. I took Kamara first because everyone has their like mini concerns, and I really have no concerns with Kamara. Like, maybe he doesn't finish top, like the top overall running back, but I'm pretty darn sure, unless he gets hurt, there's no path to him finishing outside the top 5. And with that first spot, I just like his security. He's going to score touchdowns. He's going to get the carries. He's going to be very involved in the receiving game. I just think he's a very safe pick. But honestly, however you want to draft that top 5, knock yourself out. I don't care at all. So Zeke does go 5th. I'm looking to see where Melvin Gordon goes. It kind of still looks like it's going to be half the season. And with how good Eckler and Jackson have looked this preseason, I'd be very, very surprised at this point if they gave him a new contract. So it's going to be all up to him. Does he want to keep holding out halfway through the year and come back? Or does he want to just be like, you know what? I don't want to hurt myself like Le'Veon Bell did with the contract. I'm just going to come back right now. So remains to be seen. But from where I've seen him go in drafts, it kind of looks like someone's usually willing to take that risk in the 3rd to 4th round. That's where it's been at. He hasn't been going in the top 2. But we'll see what happens in this draft. So we took a running back, which means we can definitely go with one of the elite wide receivers. We would love Mike Evans, but Mike Evans typically goes right now in this late 2nd round range. I'm not touching Antonio Brown. A new report came out today, like just before putting this on, so I haven't even fully read everything. But the report was basically like he's still frustrated over the helmet issue, and he's talking with team officials and everything. Like, just, you know what? There's so many great options in this range. I'm not playing with Le'Veon Bell, with Antonio Brown. Like, it's too much drama for me. So, Mike Evans almost made it to us. So our options for running back, if we wanted to pair 2 running backs, we could take Melvin Gordon and play that angle, but I'm not going to. Our options are basically Aaron Jones, Freeman, Mac Montgomery, Carson Henry. Those are like the only ones you could legitimately take. But Kelsey hasn't been taken, and I would take Kelsey over those guys. So there goes Kelsey. I won't take George Kittle, although I actually have 2 picks. I probably should have thought of this sooner. So Keenan Allen has the ankle injury, but I think he's going to be good to go to start the season. I have Diggs. Okay, so I have like Diggs, Cooper, Thielen, all in like a tight pairing. I definitely want to get one of them because I know they're not all going to bust. Oh, and T.Y. Hilton. So I think I am going to take Keenan Allen, even though he's got the ankle injury. Maybe if it takes him a little longer to recover, I'll back off that stance. But if I'm drafting right now, I really still do like Keenan Allen there. For running back, it's going to be a long time before I get another pick, which concerns me because a lot of these guys are going to be taken. But I do have Kamara, and I only need to start 2 running backs. If I did take a running back, it would be Freeman. This feels early, but again, when you have these corner picks, sometimes you have to end up reaching. I think I'm going to take T.Y. I think I'm going to go with 2 elite wide receivers that I really like, and basically for the next, unless someone great falls to me at the end of the 4th round, for the next 5 to 6 rounds, I will basically be looking to lock in my tight end and then just take a bunch of shots at wide receivers or at running backs. So unless like, I think this Godwin-Golladay tier, I'd consider going with another one. So if I guess Antonio Brown, but he's going to get taken. Antonio Brown, Thielen, Cooper, Diggs, Cooks, Godwin, Golladay. If one of them's there still, I'll probably take them as well and just be really set with my 3 top wide receivers. But if none of them are taken, then I have to start really looking at this mid-tier running back. And there are some mid-tiers of running backs that I really like, and also potentially taking O.J. Howard with the 5th round pick. That's I prefer him in more like the mid to late 5th round. But honestly, anywhere in the 5th round is a good spot to take him, because if you look at the snaps, so he did not play anywhere close to all of the snaps over his first few seasons, but in the preseason, he's playing 100% of the snaps with Winston. And this is just showing us the dude's going to be out there every single play. And, I mean, he has all the upside in the world. I think my projections have him 2nd or 3rd. He's like right with Kittle in the projections, way ahead of everyone else. So definitely would look to get him in the 5th round. But again, we're really hoping that one of these top-end running backs are there, although I have a feeling they probably won't be. Oh, all right. Well, there goes Gordon. I was also going to include Gordon in that last tier. I had him on the watch list, which is now evaporated for the wide receivers. So we're probably not going to take a wide receiver here. I'd look at DJ Moore at this spot, but I don't really view him as all that. Like, I do have him ahead of these guys, but not all that different from like Lockett, Ridley, Boyd, Williams, Alshon, Robinson, Kirk. And I think I'm still going to get, if I don't take wide receiver here, I think I could still get some guys I really like in like that 6-7 turn. So we're not going to look there. We'll look at running backs, and we do still have a few that we would like. I'd like to get Tevin Coleman and Miles Sanders with this pick. Definitely, actually, looking at the drop-off, because then we have the drop-off until, I guess, like Murray, Penny, Henderson, Sonny Michel, Lindsey, White. Those guys are all kind of in a grouping, but I have Coleman and Sanders ahead of them. So unless we want to take O.J. Howard here, I've been doing a lot of drafts on Draft, the app, and basically what I've found is that I like my team the most when I'm getting one of Howard, Ingram, and Henry. Like, being able to get one of them, I just like my team more at the end. Because, like, these guys are all fine, but realistically, they don't have nearly as high of a ceiling. So, I would like to take Howard here, but if I could get any of them at the next pick, that would be ideal. Because after Sanders, I think a lot of these running backs are going to go, and then I'm pretty iffy on running back. So, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to say running back's important, and since this whole tier is basically going to be gone, I'll hopefully get Ballage. Like, that's ideally what I'd like to happen, is to get one of the 3 tight ends that I really like, plus Ballage. That'd be a really nice start to this draft, and then I could pick back up with looking at some wide receivers in that 8-9 turn. All right, guys, so a bit of unfortunate news. All of them went in the 5th round, the Howard, Ingram, Henry tier. And when that happens, I take a break. I don't just get the next guy right after and lose some value. Typically, I've been waiting until this, like, Njoku, Howard, Walker, Burton, Andrews, Reed, Rudolph, that kind of grouping. I don't have them all separated by that much. But I've just been waiting until then. So since we're definitely not going to look at quarterback yet, we can wait till the end for that. Really, the only guy I've checked off right now that hasn't been taken. So I had Penny and Henderson checked off to watch. It's just Balaj and then Breda, that kind of tier of late guys, that I like. But other than that, I don't think Balaj makes it to my next pick at 8. So I'm probably going to take him now and just secure 4 running backs that are pretty solid. I've checked off a bunch of wide receivers. This is why I can wait, is because I'm pretty sure at least one more of them is going to be there at my next pick. So it's really deciding which one of them I want. So I am going to take Balaj, and then I will talk about him in a second. It'd be my choice of Samuel, Geronimo Allison, MVS, Dede, Shepard, Sutton, Deshaun. Now, I don't need the end of those guys. I can hope that they're there at the end. I do want to take Curtis Samuel here. Didn't have a crazy preseason, which is good. I mean, if the dude had an awful or a great preseason, that would have been awful for us because he'd have shot into like the 5th round if he had some long touchdowns or something. But Cam Newton's going to be good to go. He could legitimately be the top wide receiver in this offense. So 7th round, still like the value there. Could you go your favorite choice between Allison and MVS? Sure. I just have them slightly below because they are still going to run the ball. They are still going to throw a little bit more to running backs, and they obviously have Devonta Adams taking a ton of targets away. And then I really just don't know between the two of them who's going to be the guy. So I'd prefer if one of them maybe is there at our next pick and someone else can make that decision for me, because I really don't even know. I guess MVS has the higher ceiling because of where his targets are going to be, and he's a little bit better athletically. So I would lean him, and since he goes a little bit later, that's good. But I don't want AJ Green, although to be honest, in that portion of the draft, you could definitely go with AJ Green. Not in love with Jarvis Landry for this pick. So I've already got Keenan Allen and I've already got T.Y. Hilton. And unless they suffer more injuries, they're probably going to be my 2 wide receivers for most weeks. So I'd like a guy that is likely to go into the flex spot, but that's not, like Landry's just too safe for this pick. If I was going heavy on running back and I just wanted to grab a wide receiver 2 that was just going to give me points every week, I'd go with Landry. But for this pick, it just didn't feel like a Landry pick. I don't know fully how to explain that to people, but you pick Landry when you just want a wide receiver 2 because you've taken quarterback and tight end early and you've gone heavy at running backs and you don't need this position. Like it's not about looking at a spot and saying, this is my wide receiver 2, and then judging a team based on that. It's where else did you allocate your draft capital to get him at wide receiver 2? Like, do you have Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and 3 stud running backs and a nice wide receiver? Well, yeah. I mean, if he's your 2 there, you're locked and loaded. Like, that's a really good team. But if he's your 2 and you're not comfortable with the other positions, well, now we're a little bit concerned with how you put together your roster. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense to you guys, but he's just not someone I typically end up drafting because the upside is not there, I guess. Run through the team real quick. So I do like our running backs. We've got Kamara, who's going to be our 1 every single week. We've got Coleman, who is the clear lead back on what will be a good offense and is already a really good run offense. Miles Sanders, who's by far the best running back on the Eagles roster. Top 5 offense, top 3 offensive line. Just not going to face any amount of 8 men in the box. I mean, he could face 8+ defenders in the box on like 12% of his carries. That's in his range of outcomes, in which case he's going to crush. So absolutely comfortable with him in the flex. And then Balaj. So we still don't know a ton about the Kenyon Drake injury, but they said it's going to take a while. And if they were already splitting these first team snaps, like this obviously helps him because it increases his potential for 3rd down reps. But I mean, they're not really playing him in the preseason. Their other running backs don't look good. And if Drake's going to miss any amount of time, I mean, he could be like the featured back at this point. Now, it's featured back in a terrible offense behind an awful offensive line, and I still am not convinced he's great. Now, there are reports out of camp that he's been phenomenal, that when they're in, because you know how in camp right now, you train with the team you're going to play in the next preseason game, like I don't know what it's called, but you train with the other team. And other teammates, I mean, there's reports coming out that they're just like, yo, who is that guy? Like, this kid's incredible. We can't tackle him. We can't get to him. I still find it hard to believe. I mean, he forced 3 missed tackles on 45 touches last season. Like, where did this come from? How is he so amazing this season and was so dreadful last year? Because if you take out his monster carry last year, the really long touchdown run, his stats were awful. I mean, they were just pathetic across the board. So I'm still not fully convinced, but for what you're getting, end of the 6th round, I mean, yeah, that's absolutely worth that sort of draft capital because he's clearly the only running back they're going to use right now until Drake comes back. And since we have no clue when Drake's coming back, it's a good pick. All right, guys, here's where we're at. So we've got Kamara, Coleman, Sanders, and Ballage. We've got 4 running backs we feel solid about. And I took a look at the running back pool, and there's definitely some guys we're going to target soon, but not people that we need to draft at this 8-9 turn. So since we're obviously not still going for quarterback, there's still a bunch of them left. Our options are we take 2 wide receivers who I've been looking through, and I can't fully determine 2. Nice. Okay, well, he took Pettis, so I didn't have to make that choice. Probably going to take 2 wide receivers because I looked at tight end, and there are still, is that 7? Yeah, 7 that I'm cool with that I think will probably be there at 10. So I think at 10 we take a tight end and running back, and we just take 2 wide receivers here. Now, you guys know I like Sterling Shepard, and I'm going to take Sutton as well. So Shepard is just going to be fed the ball, especially over this first month of the season. And I don't know if you guys remember the portions last season where Odell was out, and I don't remember the exact stats that Shepard had, but he was significantly better, and he was someone that we were targeting in DFS because who else do they have on this team? They're going to have Ingram, and Ingram's going to be used a ton in the receiving game. They have Barkley, who's going to be used a ton in the receiving game. But in terms of their wide receivers, they have no talent. None. So not only is Shepard obviously going to be on the field every play, but he's going to be the wide receiver that whoever the quarterback ends up being, it doesn't really matter for Shepard's standpoint. Whoever the quarterback ends up being, they're going to have to look to him a lot. So when Golden Tate returns, yeah, I mean, he's going to have some targets. He's going to take some targets away. But Tate's, in the back end of his career, and he hasn't been putting together the greatest season. So as much as I like him as a player, it's still Shepard as the 1. And so the ability to get a 1 on a team that's going to lose a ton of games, so they're going to need to throw a lot, give me a lot of garbage time points for Shepard. So I don't think he should be going this late, and I still love taking him in drafts. And then Sutton, I mean, I still don't really know the exact health status that Emmanuel Sanders is going to have at the beginning of the season. It looks like he's going to be healthy, but I don't know how they're going to split Sanders and Hamilton like the slot. One thing I know is that Sutton's the 1, and he's the 1. Like, there's nothing that Sanders is going to do to change that. So his targets aren't going to be maybe as high as some of the other receivers, but he's got high upside targets. And if he can develop a rapport with whoever ends up being their quarterback for the full season, it's probably going to be Flacco. But the point is, Sutton is a wide receiver 1, like Shepard is, in the 9th round. And I think people look at the stats from last season and they're like, nope, not touching that. But he was a rookie, and so into his 2nd season, I think he will take a step forward. So I do like drafting Sutton, and what that does for us is we've got the 2 wide receivers we love, and then we've got Curtis Samuel, Shepard, and Sutton. So we're good with wide receiver. We don't need to take someone safe. We can just take some risk here on a player that we like, and I've highlighted a few that I like, but we don't even need to take one in the next round. And that's something that I wanted to do because as much as I like our running backs, you always need to be drafting a bunch of running backs because you're going to be wrong. I mean, we're just going to be wrong even in some early round running backs. So I've highlighted a few: Jalen Samuel, Devin Singletary, Justice Hill, and Darwin Thompson, and Malcolm Brown. Now, wouldn't touch Malcolm Brown in these next 2 rounds probably. I haven't even drafted Jalen Samuels or Singletary yet. I'm not against it, but I would still prefer Darwin Thompson and Justice Hill. I do believe that Darwin Thompson is going to be the backup to Carlos Hyde. It's still very clear that Damian Williams is the one, the clear-cut number 1 running back on the Chiefs offense, which is why we still like drafting him. But Hyde's terrible. Like, he just is. So I find it hard to believe he's going to win the backup job. So I'd much prefer drafting Darwin Thompson, who's looked amazing in the preseason, and the coaching staff has talked him up, and his ability. The coaching staff has talked up his ability to pass block, which was something, and like pick up blitzes, which is something that rookies tend to not be fantastic at. So if he's being good at that, and the coach is like, all right, throw him on the field on third downs, throw him on the field on some early downs, he's got a lot of upside. So would I take him in the 11th? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I still do prefer Justice Hill. So if in this next round we can get Justice Hill and then one of the tight ends that we've been waiting on, I think that would be good. So ideally, it's Hill and Hooper. But I'll take one of the other ones if doesn't come down to that. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So I was looking around and I was like, oh, maybe if Justice Hill gets taken, I will take like another wide receiver. And I looked at my team and was like, no, I need another running back at this spot. Looked at the running backs and I was like, don't love any of these guys in the 10th round. So really didn't have a backup option if Justice Hill was taken there. But everything goes to plan. So we get Hooper, we get Justice Hill. We've got 2 spots left. Well, 2 spots and a defense. So we're going to take quarterback with one of these next 2. And then I really don't know. So we've got Kamara, Coleman, Sanders, Ballage, Hill. I feel really good about the core, but I do think we should lean an upside running back with this pick because we've got Keenan Allen, T.Y. Hilton, Curtis Samuel, Shepard, and Sutton. And I feel really good about that bench of Shepard, Sutton, Samuel. So as long as Keenan Allen is good and Andrew Luck is healthy, I guess I don't need another wide receiver right now. We can take off all the tight ends because we're absolutely not taking a second tight end in the draft. That was all of them. We can take a gander at the... Oh my goodness. Okay, so Luck shouldn't be going this late. You guys are panicking a little bit too much. Even if he misses... Excuse me. Even if he misses some times, like 2 games. Let's say he misses 2 games. I don't know. I feel like still getting him in the 12th round is a steal. But that's just me. I did move him down, and I'm pretty sure I still would take Kyler Murray over him. But this is why you don't draft quarterbacks early. I'm cool. Like I really want Winston, to be honest. But like, we'll take any of Luck, Murray, Goff, Winston, Lamar, Brady, Cousins, Trubisky, Allen, Stafford, Darnold. Those are the guys that I would draft. In a 12-team single quarterback league, if you left with just one quarterback, I am comfortable if it is any of those guys. Being honest with you. So even if we waited, even if we were like, listen, I want this defense really bad and I want them in the 13th round, cool, do it. Because you can just take one of those guys in the 14th. Now I'm not probably not going to because I don't really care which defense we get. I mean, I've said we're targeting the Cowboys because of how they opened the season. But I actually don't remember the other team. It was Cowboys and someone else. 2 teams have really nice games to open the year. But the Cowboys. So we'll take the Cowboys. They're like infinitely checkmarked for me. But this next pick, preferably, like I said, it's an upside running back because we're good at wide receiver. If I was going wide receiver, it would be one of Deshaun, Tyrell Williams, if Antonio Brown doesn't feel like playing, Gallup, and Deebo Samuel. And that's honestly why I'm backing off, and I've taken off Pettis as a target because I like Deebo Samuel a lot, and it's just such a better value. Like, if they're actually competing for this one, and even if Pettis gets it, and just Deebo's going to be out there like every play anyways, so it doesn't matter if he's technically the 1 or the 2. Who cares? He's going to be out there a ton. He's really good, and I can get him at like the end of draft. So he's on like every single one of my draft teams. But like Deshaun is definitely ahead of all of these players. So Deshaun would be an option there. But again, let's try and find a running back. Yeah, this is all I can find. I'm like dumpster diving right now for running backs. So the only running backs I could find that I would take a shot on are Chase Edmonds. If DJ goes down, he's going to be a monster. Ty Montgomery looks like the clear backup to Le'Veon Bell. If he were to go down, he looks really good in that offense. And then Dexter Williams has been getting a lot of reps in preseason with all these injuries. And then if Aaron Jones goes down, we know that Jamal Williams isn't that good. So those are three guys. All my wide receivers got taken. So I guess we'll just like look at quarterback right now, and then I'll just pick someone. Out of this list, I would take Kirk Cousins. I think he's being not really undervalued because there are so many good quarterback options, but he like just shouldn't be a quarterback that's going this late. So that's a really good value. Let's unwatch list and just see who the wide receivers are. I can't take Hamilton because I took Sutton. It'd be like Enunwa, Wilson. I don't know, guys that are just okay, but that we're not going to take here. So we'll go to our watch list. Who is the biggest chance? We'll take Chase. Chase Edmonds. He's going to run a lot of plays, so he's going to have, I guess, some value if you were desperate in that range. But it's still low probability outcome. But that's what we're looking for. With this pick, I'm not looking for someone who I need to start. Basically, that's a pick where after week one, someone goes down and I realize that there's a great value. I'm going to spend a bunch of fab on him. I'm going to put in my waiver for him, however you guys do it. And Chase Edmonds is the first to go. But maybe it's DJ that goes down and I just drafted a league winner. But if it's not the case, whatever. I just picked a filler in there for the 13th round pick. And then, because I didn't need any other positions. So, the last pick is just going to be the Cowboys defense or whichever defense is left when it gets to me at the very last pick. I'll show on the screen right now what my team ended up being, so you guys can take a look. For those of you listening on the audio version, which you can listen to on Spotify and iTunes, my starting lineup is Kirk Cousins, Alvin Kamara, Tevin Coleman, Keenan Allen, T.Y. Hilton, Austin Hooper, and then I guess flex right now they have in Miles Sanders, but I could flex any of Miles Sanders, Kalen Ballage, Curtis Samuel, Sterling Shepard, Cortland Sutton, Justice Hill, and Chase Edmonds, who obviously would not be flexed. And then whatever defense. So that is the end of the first 12 days of mock drafts. Remember, we're going to be posting our normal videos in the morning, except for mock draft Mondays, it'll be the only video of the day. But in the mornings, it's going to be our normal video. And then in the afternoon to evening, we're going to be posting yet another mock draft from a different position. So if you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like. And if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more content. But thanks for watching.